Hey everyone, I hope that you are having a great day. So in today's fanfic, we are going to look at what might have happened if Qui-Gon Jinn left the Jedi Order with Dooku. If you didn't know, when Dooku was 60 years old, he left the Jedi Order and became one of the Lost 20, a number of Jedi Masters who renounced their allegiance to the Order. For more frame of reference, this happened in the year 42 BBY, or 42 years before Episode 4. Qui-Gon was 38 years old, and his apprentice Obi-Wan Kenobi was 16 years old. So this is 10 years before the Phantom Menace. In the original timeline, there are many moments when Qui-Gon is frustrated with the Jedi Order and even has moments where he is tempted to leave himself, but he never does. In the book Master and Apprentice, he has a really great quote about remaining in the light even when it is difficult, a quote used later by Dooku's first apprentice, Rael Avros, who turned Dooku's offer to leave down at the end of the book. That being said, Qui-Gon struggled with the Council and the Jedi Code throughout his career, so asking what if he left is not totally out of the question. Our story will take a turn from the events that happened in the new book Padawan by Kirsten White. Early in the book, Obi-Wan learns from other Padawans that Master Dooku is leaving the Jedi Order. Obi-Wan, who is already insecure about his place in the Order, wonders what would happen to him if his master Qui-Gon followed Dooku and left the Jedi Order. Obi-Wan Kenobi had been sitting outside of Qui-Gon's quarters for hours. It didn't seem that his master was in there, or he was ignoring Obi-Wan. The young Padawan didn't think that this would be out of the question. After several hours, Obi-Wan heard the soft footsteps of Master Yoda approaching behind him. "Gone, he is," Yoda explained. Despite Obi-Wan's insecurities, he would not be cast out of the Order as a Padawan who drove his master away. In fact, he would simply be assigned a new master. Let's say Kit Fisto. Qui-Gon and Dooku would leave Coruscant and head to Serrano, where Dooku would claim his birthright as Count, following the death of his brother Ramil. Together, the former Jedi would continue to envision what it means to follow the Force and use their power to serve the galaxy. Now, it's important to note that Dooku and Qui-Gon would have similar frustrations with the Jedi Order, like the Jedi not serving the people instead of being lost in politics, but they would have different motivations for leaving. Qui-Gon would leave with more pure intentions, while Dooku left for more selfish reasons. Qui-Gon would be after the good of the galaxy, while Dooku left with more power in mind. During the first year, the two would travel the galaxy and help people in need. They would also learn more about the Force by following its will, not constrained by the Jedi Code. Both would grow in power and understanding. Being fascinated by old stories and prophecies, the pair would be interested in the Jedi Way Seekers of the High Republic era. They would take some of the teachings and writings from the Way Seekers and begin an early movement of what would look like a gray Jedi Order. These Jedi lived in a flexible space, neither light nor dark. They simply were. Qui-Gon and Dooku would reclaim the title of Way Seekers, who simply sought to follow the will of the Force outside of any code. Things would progress well over these next 7 years. The two would even encounter Force-sensitive beings who were too old for the Jedi Order. They would train them and eventually create a small network of Way Seekers. Over time, Qui-Gon and Dooku would drift apart though. Their ideals aligned in many ways, but ultimately Dooku had a darkness in his heart that caused him to withdraw and focus inward, rather than on the people they were trying to help. The tension truly began one evening on Serrano. "Qui-Gon, we have grown in power these last few years. We could reform the Republic. I am confident there are other systems who would rally to our cause as well. Master, I did not think that was the point of doing all of this. We left to heal the Republic by helping individuals as the Force guides us. We left to do what we thought the Order had lost sight of. What you're suggesting will, at best, divide the Republic further, but at worst, I fear it would start a civil war." "Yes, I suppose you're right, my old Padawan." Conversations like this would continue over time, and recognizing that his old master had a much grander vision for what they had created, Qui-Gon would leave and follow his much simpler desire to just follow the will of the Force and help the people who needed him. Qui-Gon spent much of his time on the Outer Rim worlds. He found that's where people needed him the most. The months passed, and Qui-Gon kept his mind open to the will of the Force. He freed slaves, settled disputes, protected villages from pirates, and so much more. During this time, he encountered 5 Force priestesses who promised to teach him to maintain his consciousness and become one with the Force upon death. Qui-Gon kept in loose contact with Dooku, if for any reason but to keep tabs on his old master concerning his plans. During one of these times, though, Dooku made a quick mention of a politician who may be able to help his cause. He was a senator from Naboo named Palpatine. So 9 years after leaving the Jedi Order, Qui-Gon sat in a cantina on the remote planet of Tatooine. He had just finished freeing some slaves and decided to unwind before moving to the next mission. While at the cantina, Qui-Gon overheard the table next to him. They were talking about a local slave boy who had been racing pod racers for his master. That piqued Qui-Gon's interest. Qui-Gon had always been in tune with the Force, but now, clearer than ever, the Force was telling Qui-Gon that he needed to meet this boy. Here's where part 1 ends, but don't worry, I will be uploading the next 2 parts this week. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, it helps the channel so much, and I'll see you in the next video. May the Force be with you.